A constituent nation of the United Kingdom, Scotland is made up of archipelagos of nearly 790 islands, vast mountains, freshwater lakes and deep, narrow fjords that flow into the sea. This territory, which covers a third of the island of Great Britain, is directly linked to the origins of a horse which bears the name of an ancient district, Clydesdale. The history of Clydesdale begins in the mid-18th century, when improvements to the roads leading to the coal mines of the Clyde Valley became essential. Previously, transport could be done on horseback, but loads became larger, and the horses that existed then were not powerful enough to tow them. Local mares from Lanarkshire, generally black or brown, are then crossed with Flemish and Frisian horses imported to Scotland. Among them, some will leave an indelible mark, such as the anonymous black stallion imported from England by Jean Patterson of Lochleoch, and a dark bay stallion belonging to James Hamilton. Little by little, the horses born from these crosses will be defined as the horses of Clydesman, and their reputation will increase thanks to their traction ability. A lineage, present in the genes of the majority of Clydesdale horses today, would appear in 1806, when a filly known as Lampett's mare, was crossed with the black stallion brought by Jean Patterson from Lochleoch. It was after the birth of Thompson's black horse's son, a stallion named Clyde, who not only won prizes, including that of the cattle market in 1844, that this line strongly influenced the model of the breed. Even if this theory is the most likely, there is another on the origin of the Clydesdale, which supposes that the beginnings of the breed would be more distant. The Old English Black, a horse that lived in East Anglia from the 12th century and the Flemish imported to Scotland from the 15th century, are said to have been the origin of the Leicestershire Black Horse. According to writings from 1837, selection in Scotland depended on the different districts. This program was set up with the aim of improving local agriculture, by organizing competitions where only the best were rewarded. Little by little, this system will extend to all of Scotland and the north of England, where the Clydesdale will even supplant the Shire. The first register was founded in 1878, by the Clydesdale Horse Society of Scotland, created a year earlier. Another was formed in North America the following year, which preceded the American Register published in 1882. At that time, 20,183 export certificates for stallions, mares and foals were issued, to countries including the United States, South America, Russia, Italy and Austria. But in 1914, the Clydesdale was recruited by the Army to serve in the First World War. This requisition and the need to optimize the agricultural sector and its level of productivity will have an unprecedented impact on Clydesdale. With the sharp decline in livestock numbers, the Clydesdale was classified as vulnerable by the Rare Breed Survival Trust in 1975. The Clydesdale comes from the crossing of local horses, with the Flemish horse and the Frisian horse. He was probably influenced by the Great Horse. Gene exchanges with the Shire have often taken place, however in the 1950s, the Clydesdale will pass on its silky hairs. The appearance of the Clydesdale horse has been modified several times throughout its history. Between 1920 and 1930 its body was compact and smaller, then in the 1940s it became larger and more graceful. This gigantic horse is the result of many years of selection based on versatility, essential in the countryside, and on the elegance required for traveling in the city. The coat, often accompanied by large white markings, is generally black or bay, with chestnut and roan not always being favorably accepted. He is 1.62 m to 1.85 m tall and weighs 875 kilograms, but some reach 2 meters and weigh 1 ton. Like many draft horses, the Clydesdale is calm, and he always shows kindness and docility. Courageous, he does not limit his efforts to work, and he has the reputation of being able to estimate the width of his crew, in order not to damage them. Her elevated gait is an extension of her natural elegance. Its resemblance to the Shire pushed breeders to establish a clear split between the two breeds in 1895. Initially he was employed in agricultural work, hauling coal in Lanarkshire and hauling heavy loads. Today, Scottish breweries and distilleries use it for prestige and the preservation of an exceptional tradition. It is no longer essential in agricultural work, however it continues to be present on arable land and forestry operations. Its unique characteristics give it access to displays, and its easy nature means that it is sometimes bred just for the pleasure of its owners. Less important than abroad, breeding in the United Kingdom is more particularly developed in its native land, the Valley of Clyde in Scotland. At the start of the 2000s, the herd numbered 5,000 horses, of which 4,000 were bred in North America, 800 in the United Kingdom and 200 in the rest of the world. At its peak, the export of the Clydesdale could reach 25,000 horses per year, where it sometimes left a trace of its passage, as in Oceania where it was nicknamed the horse that built Australia. But the Clydesdale lost its deserved privileges when it was replaced by machines.